Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. I am so excited for what is about to happen over the next week here on the channel, and it is all vintage coach. If you are a vintage coach lover, you're going to love this. If you are a purse rehab lover, you are going to love this. If you're simply into saving items, saving the vintage from the trash, you're going to love this. And last but not least, if you're into giveaways, you're really gonna love this. Over the next week, I am going to be rehabbing a vintage coach bag every single day. Yes, every single day, there's gonna be a new video dropped right here on the channel just to overload you guys with all of this vintage leather goodness. Vintage coach restorations and cleanings have always been one of the most heavily requested videos here on the channel, so I thought in celebration of the upcoming 50,000 subscriber milestone, I would give you guys everything that you've been asking for. And yeah, 7 videos then. This is gonna be a lot of work, but you guys are totally worth it. If you thought that the gift of vintage coach restorations every day for a week was enough, guys, there is more in store, and they're right here. I'm actually doing a giveaway. As soon as we hit that 50,000 subscriber milestone, I am going to pick a winner based off of these vintage coach restoration videos. And the winner gets their choice of a luxury wallet, Louis Vuitton or Gucci. I'm gonna be showcasing those giveaway options later, but first let's get into the very first bag that I'm going to be rehabbing and cleaning today, and that is a Coach station bag. Look at this in that classic black. You can tell it's been pretty well cared for. This was actually one of my very first vintage Coach bags, this exact one. It does need a little bit of rehab, some cleanup. When I first redid this bag, some of the practices that I did then, I no longer do, and some of the things I do now, I didn't do or didn't have those tools at the time. I'm really excited to be able to give this bag the white glove treatment that it really deserves. The Coach Station was first marketed in 1983, although it was under a different name. This bag ran until 2007 when it was discontinued. So if you buy a Coach Station bag today, chances are it is vintage. In fashion, things are vintage after 20 years. So if you own a Coach Station bag, chances are it is vintage because, like I say, they stopped creating them in 2007. Let's take a look at this bag and then clean her up. This has to be one of the softest Coach leathers I've ever felt. I think that this bag is really well hydrated. You can see how shiny it is. The brass is in pretty good condition as well, but could probably stand a good cleaning. You can see here some light scratches on the inside. We'll be trying to get as much of that out as possible. The corners are gonna require some love and attention here. So although at first glance this bag looked like it wasn't super rough, I see that we do have a little bit of work to do here. Inside, it's honestly in really nice shape. I think a quick vacuuming and probably some Suede cleaner, especially anywhere where there's pilling, is gonna take care of most of the interior work here. Let's check out the back. The top part of this bag, again, we see some discoloration, some scratching. So while the leather is super soft, it just overall, it needs a deep clean. It needs a deep conditioning. I think this one's going to be pretty quick for us. It does have its original hang tag on this bag. All brass hardware. I love the look of the brass against black. Let's take a look at the creed, and I'm going to show you guys how to decipher that code at the bottom and how I know that this bag was created in 2002. At the bottom we see number E2P-5130. E is the month that this bag was created in, so we have A through Z, omitting the letter I because it can be confused with the number 1. So if you assign A is January, B is February, C, so on and so forth, we know that this bag was created in May. Now the number 2, if that was a number 4 through 9, it would actually mean that this bag was created in the 90s, 92, 90, 94, 95, 96, but Coach did not start denoting the year with the second digit until 1994. So this bag is actually 2002. How do we know that it is 2002 and it doesn't say 02? Because it wasn't until 2004 that Coach started putting a 0 before. So we did want to confuse 1994 when this entire system started with 2004. So since this one says 2, we know that system didn't exist in 1992. It has to be 2002, and that probably explains why this bag is so much softer than the other ones. The quality of leather is a little bit different, but still vintage and still absolutely gorgeous. We're going to start today by vacuuming out the bag. I am using a cordless Dyson, but that doesn't mean you have to. Just use the products that you have and work towards bettering your processes and saving vintage bags. Let's take a peek at the inside. It's where I always like to start when rehabbing vintage coach. This is a Kiwied suede brush, very coarse bristles. These ones are silicone bristles on the other side, but if you're going to clean suede, you really need a very coarse brush, something that if you were to brush this against your skin, it's rougher than a dry brush. It would hurt. I'm going to speed this up. This is actually 4 times speed, you guys. Lots of the video today is sped up, except for a few parts I want you to see how you really need to take your time and take care of items. This is a suede eraser. So any areas on the suede that actually have discoloration, any staining, I'm going to clean those. This is another suede brush, and I didn't realize that there was little suede pills, little particles from the light suede that I just cleaned in my last coach video. And look at that, I got it all over this brush. But just to show you guys again how dense, how rough these bristles are. This is not a brush that you're going to want to use on the leather. These are for suede only. So know the difference in your cleaning brushes. And this is just our first pass over the suede just to get any loose dirt or any soiling. This is a Castile soap, a very gentle soap, a few drops there, some warm room temperature water, and this is my Clean Kicks tool. Now, my Clean Kicks tool has 2 different brush heads. You'll see that just here in a minute on the video, but this is the rougher of the 2 brush heads. I'm just going to dab it in there, and you can see me here scrubbing this around, scrubbing it back and forth. What you can't see, maybe you can if I get close enough, is that the head of this tool is oscillating. So it honestly does the work, so you don't have to. This Clean Kicks tool is probably the single most important tool that has revolutionized the way that I restore purses, the way that I restore vintage coach. I do have a 20% off code. Clean Kicks is a partner of mine, and I absolutely love their products. So I've secured that 20% off for you guys. It is in the description, as well as a link to this exact tool and the cleaner, which I also really enjoy. Inside, the suede looks like it is in pretty nice condition overall. I don't really think that there's any suede inside the pockets that we're going to have to clean, but we're going to take off, again, this really coarse brush. Look at this black one. You can see that is more like a suede brush. That is for getting dirt and grime off. This one is like a soft or medium toothbrush. You could rub this against your skin and it would not hurt. That is the one that we're going to use to actually clean the leather today. All right, be careful with how soft the brush is. Here I am applying more than enough leather CPR to clean 5 bags. I don't know why today. I just kind of went crazy on the leather CPR. Leather CPR, though, is not only a conditioner, it's also a cleaner. And when a bag is as clean as this one is, I don't see the need to use a secondary and standalone cleaner and then a conditioner. Leather CPR gets the job done, and I'm not speeding this up. I want you guys to see how intentional, how many passes I make on this bag. I'm going to go horizontally. I'm going to go vertically. I'm going to even go diagonally. I'm getting into every little nook, every little crevice, all the crannies. I know that leather has so many different variations, veins, there are a lot of little cracks and crevices in leather, and I want to get this leather CPR conditioner and cleaner into every single one of them. Now, this is a product I will not be without. It is linked below also. If you've never put leather conditioner like this, leather CPR itself, on leather furniture, vintage leather purses, you just have no idea what you're missing out on. This is not a saddle soap. It's not drying. While I will rub off any extra, you don't have to go in and rinse this off. It is the conditioner also, and it's safe for skin. It's dermatologist tested. So a lot of people actually work this in with their hands if they're just using it as a conditioner. I'm trying to get all those big scratches out, so that's why I'm using the tool here. We will go ahead and speed it up on the back here. This is 4 times speed. I will say that restoring vintage coach is a labor of love. Don't rush through this process. You already got all your tools out. You got the purse out. You're not going to be carrying this purse for a day or two because of the process that it's undergoing. So take your time. You didn't come this far to only come this far. Take your time. Actually do it right. This is a microfiber cloth. I'm just going to wipe off any of the extra. I will say until it fully dries, you think that the leather CPR is tacky. I promise you it'll dry, it'll be smooth. Just wipe off the extra, get underneath every little spot. You saw me get underneath this tab. I think that and the back of the tab is an area that sometimes people forget whenever they're cleaning, when they're conditioning. Look at this already. This is night and day difference already, and we've only done one step. And I will say that of all of the purses that I'm doing this week, I feel like this one is in probably the best condition. So the restorations only get more intense and more exciting after this. Again, didn't come this far to only come this far. You better get the handle. You better get the handle attachments. You better get underneath the handle. If it is leather, touch it with the leather CPR. Get some conditioner on it. You would hate to take really good care of this bag for years and years and years, and the thing that falls apart is the tab holding the handle on because you never put leather conditioner on it. So again, we are already looking fantastic and so fine, but we are doing one panel at a time, and the next panel is going to be the side piece here. Again, let's put way too much leather CPR here. I mean, it's not way too much. It's just, trust me, I felt like I was using half the bottle on this bag, and I don't know that it was completely necessary. Speeding along at 4 times speed again. Let's go ahead and take the straps off. I actually need to go ahead and take the hang tag off also, but we're going to work it into every little piece. And I like to go panel by panel because then I don't have to guess, did I wipe the leather CPR off of that area? Have I already cleaned this area? I think it's very smart, since the bags are constructed in panels, to just clean one panel at a time. Just go like that. We do want to saturate the sides enough that I'm going to be able to reshape them, because if you remember, it was kind of laying flat. Now, in between this front pocket and the body of the purse, there's more leather in there. You need to pull that apart and get in there too. Get every single space that there is leather. By the end of this week, we're going to know that. There's a few things that are just constant with every single bag. And I would say today's video is more of a leather care, how to care for your bags. This is not something that you do one time to a bag and you never have to do it again. You need to be going in on a regular basis. That may depend on the climate that you live in. Are you in a very dry area? Are you in a humid area? Where are you storing your bags? You need to keep them conditioned. You'll know if your bag starts to look dry and dusty, because if I said, hey, you do this every 6 months and your bag needs it every 2 weeks, or if I said do this every 2 weeks and your bag needs it every 6 months, trust me, you'll be able to tell when she starts looking like less than perfect, less than ideal. You don't need this much leather CPR every single time, and you don't need it cleaning every single time. Leather CPR, massage it in with your hands, and keep the leather conditioned. That's going to keep those scratches and the light variations at bay on something like this. So again, just wiping everything off. We're almost done with the leather CPR. Well, we're almost done on the inside because we're doing a full restoration here. I'm not just doing every area that the naked eye can see. Let's wipe everything down here. Take a peek at the handiwork. Those scratches already gone. All of that dryness that was around the turn lock gone. But look, inside the pocket, we still have scratches. There's no reason why we can't go ahead and get this. Right now, while this purse is out of commission for the next couple days, let's just squirt some in there. Another thing that I really love about this Clean Kicks tool is how small it is. And it's going to oscillate even deep into the corners. If I just had a horsehair brush, it would be a little bit harder to get into the corners. If you restore a vintage coach and you use a oscillating Clean Kicks tool one time with this super soft brush, you probably won't go back either. Once I have cleaned that inner pocket, I went inside. This is the back of the innermost, the large area, like where the crease is, and I cleaned that as well. Don't forget the strap. Literally, why would you clean this purse and not do the strap? Let's go ahead and take it apart because we want to get every little nook and cranny and crevice, right? And this is where things get really messy. I have worked a lot of jobs in my life that made my hands messy. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. You're not going to see me wearing gloves because, again, my products that I'm using to restore this are dermatologist tested and they are safe for skin. Leather is skin, guys. It needs to breathe. Don't put your leather products away in plastic boxes. Don't store them in plastic bags. If you want to use a dust bag, use a breathable dust bag, something that air can still get in there and circulate. Even when you are shipping leather goods, don't ship them wrapped up in plastic bags. Leather needs to breathe. So if it's safe for this leather, it's safe for my skin as well. But this process is still, it's dirty, especially you're using a cleaner here. Some of the little threads come off, some of the dye comes off. You'll see by the end of this, I have a little bit of black on my hands as well. I am scrubbing this thing down, but I find no easier way to get the front and back of a leather strap than just putting it in my hand and turning it this way. I am showing you guys how long this takes because we're just working on this, like maybe 6 or 7 inch long section here, and you can see how long this is taking. We still have the rest of the strap to do. So when it's time to clean the strap on a bag, don't set aside 2 minutes to do it and think, oh, that part's going to take no time, because it honestly, I feel like it takes more time than cleaning the rest of the bag. There is surface area wise quite a bit of leather here. This is again sped up at 4 times speed. I'm just working in small sections, turning it, working in another section, turning it, so that I'm sure to get every single section of this bag. And this strap had like a white spot on the strap. I don't know if it was something that was actually on the bag or if that was just an area that the strap was so dry, but I was able to get that right off. There was really no staining on this bag that I wasn't able to completely clean and completely get off. So we are all the way to the very end here, and this is where you'll notice a wrinkling in the hole where that is normally secured by the buckle. You know, when you wear your belt on a certain hole all the time, there starts to become a wrinkle there. Well, you can actually work this leather CPR in with your hands, and you can massage out little lines, wrinkles, divots. I've used it in wallets where the snap created a little divot. I have used leather CPR and massaged those spots out. So I'm just massaging it for a second here to show you how flat it's already becoming. Only massaging it for less than 30 seconds probably. So yeah, if you have a bag that's misshapen and you don't want to use steam on it because it's leather, try some leather CPR and really go to work, put on your favorite TV show and start massaging that spot with leather CPR. Again, it is skin, and you chances are will be able to work that out if you work diligently enough about it. Let's see if there's any excess after I've massaged this strap so lovingly, get everything off of there, double check that I got all the white spots that were on there off, and we're going to go ahead and set that aside to dry. Now I've got to wash my hands because I really created quite a mess. While we wait for that to dry just a little bit, I want to talk to you guys more about the giveaway. So I apologize, but I'm going to interrupt the video so I can tell you how to win a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton bag. And oh my gosh, you guys haven't seen what they look like yet either. So let's go do that. So first up, what are the prizes? I have an option of 2 things. While this entire series is about Vintage Coach, a lot of my content surrounds luxury brands in general, not just Coach. And 2 of the audience favorites here on the channel, anytime I post about Gucci or Louis Vuitton, those videos get the greatest reception. So I decided to give you guys an option between 2 items: a vintage Gucci wallet. This thing is so beautiful. There are a few things that I do want to do to this wallet to make it even better, but let me just show you guys. Classic Gucci plate there. Opens on this side. The canvas is in fantastic condition. Really want to keep this bag to go with a recent canvas Gucci that I just redid, but I'm not going to. One of you guys are going to end up with it. We have somewhere there Gucci logo, the serial number as well. So yeah, this gorgeous little vintage Gucci wallet is an option for the winner, as well as, now this one only needs a few touches. Also, this yellow epi leather. I love Louis Vuitton epi leather. I think it is the unsung hero in the Louis Vuitton collection. I like it more than any of the canvas products, obviously. It's leather. This one is so unique with the color. It is a long line wallet as well. We have a clip similar to that Gucci, and look inside. Oh my gosh, it's purple. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna do my best to massage that spot out there. This thing is in really fantastic condition, but like I say, it just needs a little bit of work. I'll be touching up the edges with paint and things like that. It has a kiss lock on this side, little coin purse. The winner is going to choose between one of my favorite Louis Vuitton products, an Epi leather wallet, and the Gucci canvas monogram wallet. These are your two options. How do you enter? Over the next week, I am going to release 7 different Coach Rehab videos every single day for 7 days. Those videos are your one and only way to enter. First of all, be sure you're subscribed to the channel. This giveaway is only open to subscribers. And turn on the notifications, because every day for the next 7 days, you'll be notified that I've uploaded a new Coach Rehab. After the video is uploaded, comment on the video. At the end of 7 days, I will pick a random comment from every one of those 7 videos. The comment chosen on each video will be the qualifier for that video. Those 7 comments are going to go in the grand prize drawing, and the winner of that drawing will win their choice of that wallet. Hopefully that doesn't sound super complicated. Basically, you just need to comment on the videos when I upload them. Can you comment more than once? Absolutely. Can you comment on every single video? Please do. I'm not kidding. If I pull the same person off of every single video, your name will be the one that goes in 7 times to the grand finale. I will use the random comment generator and pick one comment from every single video. So you're gonna greatly increase your chances if you comment on every single one of the videos. Hopefully by the end of the week, we are celebrating 50,000 subscribers, and that will make this giveaway even sweeter. This is video number 1, so be sure you get your comment in the comment section down below, and who knows, maybe you could be the qualifier on today's video. I will remind you every video to be sure to comment and be sure that you're subscribed. Good luck! It is time to clean that gorgeous brass hardware using none other than Brasso. I love Brasso for cleaning solid brass hardware. This isn't something you'd want to use on a plated piece, but this vintage Coach hardware is solid brass. So I'm just going to open it up and use a Q-tip is my preferred method on these little small pieces. Let's start with this clip here. I love this clip. This is one of my favorite. I don't know that it's lobster claw. What would you call this? I know I think it has a specific name. Talking about the hardware, did you know that when Bonnie Cashin designed the turn lock, the now famous Coach turn lock, that she designed it after the convertible top on cars at the time? That was what it took inspiration from. It wasn't until the 60s that Bonnie Cashin started working for Coach. They had actually been around since, I think, 1941. And when she started working with them in the 1960s is when the brand took off. And one of the things she brought outside of leather and stripes and bright colors and the kiss lock was the turn lock itself. So you can see this dark strip here. I'm just going to take a little Brasso, get it on the Q-tip there and rub it. Now, if there's a spot that's heavily tarnished, you can let this sit for a minute. If it's not heavily tarnished, there's no need for that. Just scrub it away and then wipe it away using you can use a microfiber cloth. The cloth that I'm using today is actually what's called a glass cleaning cloth. If you've ever used some of those, I got it in a kit from Walmart that had random dusting cloths, and that one was marked for glass, so that's the cloth that I'm using. But heck, you could use a Kleenex if you wanted to. Just get the Brasso off of there. If there's any stubborn areas, you absolutely can rinse it. Look at that, turning this every which way to make sure if there is a dark area anywhere. Again, we didn't come this far to only come this far. Why would I leave greening and tarnish anywhere on the brass of this bag? We're spending hours restoring this thing. You guys are getting the sped up and the Cliff Note version, but this took hours to restore, and this one was already in good condition. So if we're already here, go through, look at every tiny little spot. I like to investigate inside the leather joints where the brass is hidden inside, because that's where you see a lot of green. I think it's called verdigris, and that's just infamous to be inside there. This ball chain is pretty dark. I see people skip the ball chain on restorations, and it needs to be cleaned too. This is how I clean it. Since it is so small, I will lay it out on the cloth and then just coat it in Brasso front and back. We're just going to go ahead and coat it. I did a purse the other day, and it actually did need to sit for a minute because that ball chain was almost black. Okay, it was pretty dark brown. We want this to be the same color as the rest of the brass, which is definitely a gold tone. So I'm just going to apply this all over using the Q-tip here. I heard someone recently say that they don't use Brasso because it smells so bad, and that if they were going to use it, it would have to be outside or an extremely well ventilated area. I don't think Brasso stinks at all. Don't let that scare you away, because maybe it's one of those things. Some people can't stand the smell of it. I don't smell anything at all in Brasso. So, you know, some people think cilantro smells like soap, and other people like me would eat it for breakfast. Everybody's different, and maybe you won't have that reaction to Brasso. I've never thought that it was a noxious odor whatsoever. I'm going through here chain by chain, link by link. I'm not pulling as hard as what it looks like in this video, but I'm putting my fingernail in between every one of these balls to ensure that there's no Brasso left over. You could use a fine little toothbrush or something. And look, it's the same color as the rest of the brass hardware now. Let's speed it along and go the inside of the claw clips. I'm looking over every piece of brass hardware on this purse. We're going to look at the claw clips inside and out, where they join to the leather. I am going to look at the D-rings, the square rings, the rings on the handle here. You can see now it's very slight, but there was a little dark spot on each one of them on the front here. So no way that we're going to leave it like that. I'm just going to scrub both of those off with, again, the tiniest amount. And the brass on this purse, I will tell you, if you're not super familiar with vintage Coach, the brass on this purse is in extremely good condition. We have some coming up later this week that are not, and you'll see the difference. But even if it looks to be in extremely good condition, if it's the first time coming to you, check and double check that there's no tarnishing that's just going to spread and eventually get onto the leather of your bag. Check that turn lock. Now you can take these components right off of the leather. This wasn't in bad enough condition that I needed to do that, but it snaps off. It kind of like a brad in the back. Go ahead and lock it back up there, and you can see I got some Brasso on the leather. So on my microfiber cloth, I got a little bit of leather CPR, a wet spot here that still had, since I used such an excessive amount, and I'm going to scrub all of that Brasso off. It is way more harsh than leather CPR. Look at that. Look at all of that we got off of what was pretty clean brass hardware that looked like it really didn't need a whole lot of work, and we got all of that off of there. So let's take a look inside here. We are going to fold up. I'm not just rolling these into balls here because, well, the leather is going to take on the shape of what you put inside of it. But I am going to be very careful and very methodical about how I stuff this. I'm going to ensure that this goes all the way down into the corners. I want the sides of this bag to no longer be puckered. I don't want them to be folded. I want them to be standing up straight, because when I show you guys the bag at the very end of the video, it won't have any stuffing in it. That's kind of I guess a thing with a lot of videos is I hate to see the final product and it's stuffed. So if it doesn't look like that all the time, that's not really the final product. I'm going to stuff this because whether you can tell or not, this leather is now wet. It's wet from the leather CPR. It's wet from the Castile soap and water that I cleaned the suede on the inside, and that makes it pliable. That means I can now mold it. There will never be another time or a better time to be able to shape this leather how you want it. So this part of the video actually got out of order somehow. It looked like I was just taking the hang tag off now, but clearly it was off because I'd already cleaned the ball chain. But what I hadn't showed you yet was cleaning the hang tag itself. You didn't think I was going to skip that, did you? Okay, be honest. You thought, why didn't she clean the hang tag? We're just going to go ahead and get the front, get the back. Hands are the best. It's just like makeup application. It's your best tool. So just pick that thing up, put it in your hot little hand, and ensure that the hang tag gets its day in the sun and some love also. Now it is clean. Now it's conditioned like the rest of the item. These hang tags sell for quite a bit of money. If that's the only thing you can save off of a bag, which would be tragic, please save the hang tags. I have one vintage Coach that I collect a lot of hang tags, and they all hang on that bag. So let's go ahead at this point. We're going to start putting the bag back together. I saw a girl the other day that she did like a shrink wrap type of thing around this to ensure that it didn't fall off. I thought that was kind of interesting. Let me know your thoughts on that. I think from the comments on that video, some people were adamantly against it. Some people were very for it. It seemed like it could have a great application so long as you are careful it doesn't stay on there forever, or maybe you do want it to stay on there forever. If you ever want to take it off, just be conscientious of that. We're going to go ahead and put this right back in the exact same hole that I smoothed out. And I honestly want to stuff one more towel in here because I want this to fold over the top. Now, what I'm not going to do, what you're not going to do, I say that to my kids all the time, what you're not going to do is hang this by the handle, because then the handle's going to dry in that shape. I do want these side pieces not to be sad little puppy dog ears angling down though. So I'm going to pull those up, and trust me when I say every bag's a little different. This bag needs the support on its back. If I stand it up, the top is going to droop down, kind of like how you karate chop a pillow. Let's take a look back at what this bag looked like when I first got started. This is the before. If you thought suddenly things got worse, this is the scratches, the variations, the corners, the overall color and condition of the leather. Remember, this is what we were dealing with when we first got started. And are you guys ready for this? Here is the after. This is the next morning after it's dried, and let me just pat myself on the back and tell you I've already taken the stuffing out of this bag. This is standing on its own in this condition. It is currently not stuffed. So that's a trend you're going to see in the rest of the week's videos. They will not be stuffed in the afters, but look at the sides here. Look at the hardware. Isn't that beautiful? It is gleaming. Oh, that Coach hang tag, all of that brassy goodness. There's something about brass, you guys. I think that this one turned out absolutely stellar. And the corners, now that's not perfect. That is, I'm not going to paint those. I'm not going to stain those. I am going to keep the true integrity of the leather here. Let's take a look on the inside now. Look at how clean that suede is. I mean, I wouldn't suggest eating off of it, but if you needed to, I'm just kidding. The inside, there are a few more scratches around the creed there. Inside is extremely clean with the vacuum job as well as the suede cleaning. A bit more scratches there, but the fact that this bag is completely standing on its own, and I will be stuffing this likely with an old t-shirt or two and storing it that way to prevent it from ever looking flat, deflated, or out of shape again. I hope you guys love the restoration in today's video. I can't wait to show you the bag that we will be rehabbing tomorrow. Be sure you have notifications turned on. And if you do me a favor, would you share this video with another vintage coach lover that you think would enjoy being a part of this series or entering my giveaway? We are going to hit 50K here on the channel very, very soon. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for that. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Most importantly, thank you for watching today's video. God bless.